Greetings Marines, FiOth here, and in this vid, the very first of a new series that will run parallel with the True Solo series, we will be discussing the best in class gun of each category. I'm gonna try to be as specific as possible here, so I won't take the DMRs or the sniper rifles with the auto rifles and so on and so forth. It will just be the weapons in each class according to their description. So we will start with the auto rifles here. We'll be looking at the 4 auto rifles in the game, and then we'll move on to other categories. It's not a heavily by the numbers comparison. It has to do with the overall utility, the versatility, the feel, and so on and so forth. So stick around and enjoy the show. Halberd. So the Halberd is by no means a bad weapon. There is no bad auto rifle in FTE, but it has to be considered probably the weakest of the bunch. I know some of you guys out there swear by well-and-Yutani's guns, but hear me out for a sec, okay? The gun is by far the weakest when it comes to damage, outclassed by the Kramer, outclassed by the Pulse, outclassed by the Type 88. Okay, so since it is outclassed on the damage department and there is so many modifications that can be made to the rate of fire, although you can never get to the point where the Halberd will be outmatched when it comes to bullets per second, what you have to realize is that on difficulty settings beyond intense, like on extreme and insane, the highest bang you get out of your back, the highest damage per bullet that you get, the better your chances are not to run out of ammo. Because up to intense, let's be honest, any gun will serve you just fine. The Halberd is no exception. It has a peculiar way of kicking when you're using it by laying down on the trigger, but it will always perform, and its damage fall of profile is really sweet. You can map stuff with this thing if you put a scope on it. I don't know why you would wanna put a scope on it, but the gun will serve nonetheless. A very solid weapon, very healthy across the board when it comes to stats. For each individual one of these guns you can get to my modding guides. There's a whole playlist and it will be the end of this vid, and check out how I mod them for maximum efficiency. This gun is very solid across the board, as I said. There's nothing wrong with it. It is just outclassed by its brothers, and that's why it lands on the last spot. Type 88 Heavy AR. So the Type 88 is an interesting choice because it is higher damage than the Pulse, lower damage than the Kramer. It is quite healthy across the board, but as the description says, it tends to kick quite a bit. And when you have to make that compromise when it comes to the damage department, you really want the gun to at least be able to shred everything in front of you. And the Type 88 kind of falls short on higher difficulty settings. It's not bad, as stated about the Halberd as well. Very serviceable if you're playing a class like the Doc or the Recon, where you can just give yourself some space to invest in gun perks, because they have a pretty much, let's say, non-optimizable ability. This will serve you quite well. At longer distances, it won't help as much as either the Halberd or the Pulse, but nonetheless, when things come your way and you want them dead, especially if you're playing amp on intense, like the more relaxed difficulty settings, this will serve you quite well, and it's quite fun to use as well because it makes a lot of noise, it reloads in a badass manner, it looks very high tech. Overall, a very serviceable gun. Kramer. So This is a surprise for many of you, I suppose, because you see me using the Kramer all the time. To tell you the truth, the Kramer is my favorite assault rifle. It hits like a truck, it can headshot even whilst not ADACing, it stumbles like a motherfucker, and it's overall your best choice when you wanna keep it contained, keep the action in front of you, close to you, and you don't wanna rely on a shotgun too much. The maps in FTE are quite short, so these will serve you even on longer instances. It can never be a sniping tool, it kicks way too much, although the damage fall-off profile seems to be kinda serviceable. It will not be as accurate as some of its brothers, but it is one of the most coveted weapons. If you have bugged RNG, you're still hunting for it, I suppose. The fire rate is at the sweet spot where it doesn't get too much fire rate, so it will kick all over the place, but it can lay down the damage because of its insane damage profile. It's 207. The rest of the stats are pretty average, but as I said, you can build this thing for fire rate, or you can build this thing for stumble. Anywhere in between, all options available are viable, and it will serve you up to insane, no questions asked. This thing will shred Xenos, it will shred synthetics. Just aim at the weak spots if at all possible and lay on them, they'll drop dead in seconds. M41A2 Pulse Rifle. I have to give you my word here, guys. It's not a matter of partiality due to the movies. The Pulse is the best auto rifle in my humble opinion for one very specific reason. It will deal very decent damage with laser accuracy, pinpoint accuracy. There is no denying that with this rate of fire, this stumble chance and this damage profile, anything can be tackled by the Pulse. But when it comes together, really comes together, is the fact that even without any perks at all, on your perk grid, this gun is surprisingly accurate. It's pinpoint accurate over even the longer distances, and you can spec into its accuracy even more to make it a laser beam. You can really make this gun the most precise in its class by a huge margin. The Pulse was engineered so it would feel awesome, it would sound awesome, and it will perform awesomely because it's such a signature gun, such an iconic weapon, and they really pulled it off. The weapon shreds buttholes, is amazing in every regard. This is my best in class. Okay, my very first in this series. I will keep it short and sweet with these vids because many people have been asking what's your favorite of this, what's your favorite of that. I will be giving you my list to most favorite as you just watched. Join our Discord to find more people to play with. We really started gathering here, like it's gathering a lot of people, and many people have been finding others to play with, me included of course. I'm just a gamer like you guys. Check out the rest of the content, like the weapon modding guides, the class guides, and so on and so forth. Recently started a Patreon as well. If you wanna support the channel, it will make me a very happy person. Of course, it's not a requirement. I'll answer every single one of your questions. That includes every single one of you out there. Until next time, be well, stay frosty, and always strive for perfection. Cheers!